What happens when one of Hollywood's most respected actresses clashes with one of daytime television's most outspoken hosts? That question was answered during an explosive episode of The View, when Meryl Streep and Joy Behar's tense exchange escalated to the point that Streep was escorted off set by security. What began as a simple promotional interview quickly turned into a defining moment neither woman could have predicted. The day started like any other taping. Meryl Streep arrived at the ABC studios to promote her latest film, a biographical drama about a pioneering female scientist. The crew had perfected every detail: the lighting, the makeup, the audience's energy. Whoopi Goldberg welcomed her to the stage with warmth and admiration. Streep, poised and elegant, smiled graciously as the audience applauded. The conversation began with soft questions about the movie, its production, the director, the challenges of portraying a real-life historical figure. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. But Joy Behar had a different plan. As the discussion turned to the film's themes of female empowerment, Behar shifted the tone. Meryl, this character you're playing fought institutional sexism in the 1950s. Don't you think it's hypocritical to portray such a strong female figure when you've stayed silent about current political issues and women's rights? The air changed instantly. Streep's smile faltered, but she held her composure. I think my responsibility as an actress is to bring characters to life authentically, she replied. I don't believe my personal political views should overshadow the story we're telling. Behar leaned in. But you have a platform. You have influence. When someone like you stays silent while reproductive rights are under attack, aren't you complicit? The tension was thick. Other hosts glanced at each other nervously. Sunny Hostin tried to pivot the conversation, but Behar continued. You've won 3 Oscars, been nominated 21 times. You have more sway than most politicians. Yet you sit in your ivory tower while the world burns. Streep's posture stiffened. Joy, I appreciate your passion, but I fundamentally disagree. I've spent my career portraying complex women who inspire. That's my contribution. That's not enough, Behar replied sharply. Playing dress-up isn't activism. It's entertainment. We need real voices, not just performances. The studio was silent. Whoopi attempted to defuse the situation. Joy, maybe we should have broken bar, but Behar cut her off. No, Whoopi, I'm tired of celebrities thinking they can sell a movie and ignore real-world problems. You want to play heroes? Try being one in real life. Streep's legendary calm began to crack. You're being incredibly presumptuous, she said. You don't know what I do privately, what causes I support. Not everything needs to be a public display. Private conversations don't change laws, Behar said. Private donations don't start movements. You're hiding behind artistic purity while people suffer. Sarah Haynes attempted a joke to ease the moment. It failed. The confrontation escalated. I've been acting for over 4 decades, Streep said, her voice sharp. I've portrayed everyone from Margaret Thatcher to Julia Child. I've tackled complex issues through storytelling. Storytelling? Behar laughed. You think putting on a costume and reading lines changes the world? People are losing their rights while you talk about art. Streep stood up. I came here to talk about a woman who changed science despite discrimination. You've made this personal. I'm questioning your relevance, Behar said, also rising. You're from a time when celebrities could be neutral. That luxury's gone. The other hosts scrambled to regain control. Alyssa Farah Griffin suggested a break, but neither woman budged. The argument had become a battle of ideologies, a celebrity responsibility versus artistic contribution. A relic, Streep repeated. I've used my work to reflect human complexity since before your television career began. But that's not enough unless I issue political endorsements. Behar's voice rose. Don't lecture me on career. I've spent 25 years calling out injustice. What have you done besides collect awards and give speeches? You want to know? Streep replied, voice rising. I've given voice to the voiceless, highlighted forgotten stories, changed minds through empathy. That doesn't matter if nothing changes, Behar snapped. Your performances make people feel good for 2 hours. Then they go home to the same broken system. Whoopi tried again. Ladies, maybe we're. No, Behar interrupted. I want to know why someone with her platform thinks she's too good to fight for what's right. Because art endures, Streep said firmly. Because stories still matter in 50 years. Because changing how people think is more powerful than changing how they vote. Behar scoffed. Oppression endures when good people do nothing. Your legacy means nothing without democracy to admire it. You're so busy performing outrage, you've forgotten how to listen. Streep shot back. Not every interview needs to be a political ambush. My cause is justice. Behar countered. Equality. Making sure people like you don't hide in comfort while others fight for rights. You think attacking my success makes your point? Streep asked. I fought for meaningful roles, better representation. But unless I broadcast it, it doesn't count. Exactly, Behar said. Your struggles don't compare to the real oppression others face. Streep, now visibly shaken, responded coldly. I came to talk about a woman who made a difference quietly, who didn't need a stage or protest sign. And nobody remembers her name, Behar replied. She thought her work would speak for itself. It didn't. That's why I made this film, Streep said, standing up with finality. To make sure she isn't forgotten. And that's why nothing changes, Behar retorted. Because people like you think making a movie equals making a difference. The two now stood face to face, neither willing to back down. The other hosts sat in stunned silence. I think you've confused passion with effectiveness, Streep said. Volume with impact. Your platform with real power. And you've confused privilege with principle, Behar replied. Comfort with courage. Artistic pretense with actual contribution. Streep slowly removed her mic. I don't need to be lectured by someone who mistakes controversy for conviction. And I won't pretend celebrity worship matters more than real issues, Behar fired back. Security began to move in not because of danger, but because the moment was beyond repair. Streep walked off the set, dignity intact. At the edge of the stage, she turned one last